Thank you, Marc Chavet, for that introduction to our 13th of 15 matches we'll be bringing you as part of the 2023-2024 Bowling Promotion Tour QubicaAMF Masters Series Stepladder. And indeed, it is Gregory Rius, seen here getting ready for his first shot on the left lane. Rius, the high French qualifier in this competition, averaging 220.44 for his 18 games of qualifying third. And he will kick things off on the left lane. And here is the powerful two-hander with that purple hammer. And that is a perfect strike, 10 back. Great shot there by Rius to kick us off. And let's watch where this ball ends up. It gets out to about the 7 or 8 board. Turns absolutely perfectly through the pocket. And that is, as we say, 10 back. Great start for Rius. Now it is Halvar Hagen Nilsen, the Norwegian, looking for his third victory in a row. He's coming off a 243-203 victory against Kenny Bio. And before that, he beat Louis Bonnet 226-204. Let's see what he can do here. And he gets one way out to the right. That got out to about the third or fourth board and turned up perfectly through the pocket. We are seeing some transition on this right lane. It's starting to dry out in the mid lane, and that definitely is a move by Nilsen to accommodate that. Throws it out to that dry, turns up perfectly, and that is also 10 back. So we have a perfect start by each of these players. Here you can see the arrows that most players are targeting, and since there's been some transition, when they started they were around the second arrow, the second from the bottom of the screen, but most these two players are now in around the third arrow, swinging out to about the 7th or 8th board with their purple hammers. And there's another good shot by Nilsen, but it comes up a little late into the pocket for a ring 10. And again, we've seen the pocket be very accessible. We have this Gateway Arch oil pattern. It's a Brunswick oil pattern. And look at how this ball just a little bit late to the pocket, and the 6-pin wraps around the 10 to leave the 10-pin spare, and Nilsen will go cross lane with his plastic ball right at that 10-pin. We've seen some excellent spare shooting in these matches. And as we said, we're on the Gateway Arch oil pattern, and it features a concentration of oil inside the 10 board over from the left to the right side, and outside of that it's pretty flat. It's about a 9-to-1 ratio, so 9 times more oil inside the 10 board or inside that second arrow compared to outside of it. So it's made the pocket very accessible. However, we haven't seen any real big breakout scores. We saw Nilsen, of course, shoot 240 last game, and Anthony Trigaday had a 250 earlier in this competition, but we haven't seen anybody really light it up. There's been carry issues mostly with the 42-foot Gateway Arch pattern. And here is Rius. Oh, another dead flush strike on the right lane, wasting no time. And we talked about transition. We have not re-oiled through these 13 matches, so we are definitely seeing some transition that's making the bowlers move left as they kick off their shot, and that ball goes to the mid lane, which has gotten drier on that lane, turns up perfectly, and Gregory Rius is 2 for 2. And can he get the third one here and jump out to an early 20-pin lead over Nilsen? Winner of this match, of course, faces Jaime Gonzalez from Colombia. And then it's on to Martin Larson. Martin Larson averaging 229 in his qualifying, outpacing the field by about 8 pins per game. And there's Rius, and he comes up, and a very similar hit as Nilsen does Rius receive, but let's watch how it carries the 10 because of that power. And let's watch how this ball is turning. And he's got the revs on the shot. It turns up through the pocket again, a little bit late to the pocket, but that 6-pin just enough to nudge out the 10. It seems like those pins know who's got a little bit more power here and who gets the carry. And it's front 3 for Rius. And here is Halvar Hagen Nilsen. There's another perfect strike on that right lane. He certainly has figured out that transition. That right lane for the right-handers has proven a little bit jumpy, but no problem here as both these players have hit the pocket every shot so far. You saw that's just a little right of the third arrow. Goes out to about the 7th or 6th board, turns up perfectly, and dead flush strike. Unfortunately, just because of that ring 10, Nilsen now down 20. Let's see if he can double here to cut the lead back down to 10. And the full stroke, getting used to that beautiful flowing stroke. And look at this strike. Perfect, powerful strike through the pocket. Nilsen, these players have come to play here, and we have not seen anything but a ring 10 in our first 7 shots. 6 out of 7 strikes so far. This is by far the highest scoring match in the early going that we have seen in this stepladder. And of course, we said the winner faces Jaime Gonzalez from Colombia, last year's champion. And then it's on to Martin Larsson. And Rius, can he make it front 4? Here he goes, lays it out to the dry, turns up, boom! My goodness, nothing but shrapnel from Gregory Rius for his first 4 shots. And looking very strong. Let's see where this goes. That's about the 15th board. Again, out to that 7th or 8th board. Turns up perfectly through the pocket. You can see a little bit of deflection to the right, but all that power being delivered to the pins. And these players are 7 out of their first 8 in strikes. By far the best start we've seen in any match. And let's see if they can keep it going here. And Rius, of course, was a member of Team Mercury, and we will be bringing you the finals of that team competition. There's another shot by Rius. Got that a little to the right, and that does come up for the ringing 10. And that missed a little bit to the right, just the second blemish in 9 shots for these players. And let's see, you can see this ball is going to be a little bit right of his last shot. Comes in a little late to the pocket. He did have a very similar hit last time on that lane. And he did carry the 10 pin, no luck this time. So he's now going to move left with his plastic spare ball and go straight at this 10 pin. And again, we've seen excellent spare shooting here. And then as soon as we say that, there's a miss. And he goes 9 out for the open. And boy, that was the announcer's curse there. And then he just lets Nilsen right back into this match. And watch this ball just slip off the lane into the gutter. He says, oh Lord, didn't want to do that there. So now if Nilsen can strike here, he can take the lead back. He's down 7 pins exactly. Let's see what he can do here. Strike for the lead. Gets it out to the dry, same place, and gets the strike. And Nilsen now takes the lead by 3. Yes, sir. Really using that dry to the right to have the ball bounce off that and come up and go perfectly through the pocket. And let's see what Nilsen can do with this lead at this point, now that he's up 3. And a critical error by Rius, and will it cost him the match? Let's see what happens here in the back half of this match. Nilsen, only 22 years old, has U.S. bowling experience as well. He's been over to the States several. Oh, that's way right. Oh my goodness, look at that come out, and that's a bad break right there. Boy, he got that one way to the right and had for a minute the super washout, or we call the PBA washout, and that ball just is not going to make that corner. Comes back up, and then he has a ball come out and a pin come out and take out the head pin. So he got a bad break, making the spare harder to make. If he had the super washout, he can go at the head pin and throw the head pin into the 6 and the 10. But unfortunately now he's got to shoot at the 2 pin and slide it over into the 6 and the 10. Let's see how he does. A very difficult spare here for Nilsen. And came at an inopportune time when he had the lead. Gets it over, can only get the 2. And so gives the lead right back to Nilsen in a back to Ruiz in a pretty big way. And Ruiz now, all of a sudden, has a 15-pin lead by loss of the count and then by the open. Sitting on the bench, Ruiz finds himself in the lead by 15 pins. Boy, what a critical error by Nilsen. That's by far the worst shot we've seen him make in all his matches so far. Let's see what Rius can do with this. Turns it up, and another flush strike. In the right lane, he only has that one blemish, that ring 10. And Rius looks really locked in. Let's see if he can extend his lead here. Yeah, look at this ball over the 12th board, out to those dry boards, turns up, does not overreact, sets right into the pocket, and boy, Rius' strikes have been just perfect, just except for that solid 10. He is perfect. Let's see what he can do here. Rius, the 27-year-old Frenchman. Rius has rolled back-to-back 300s in his career. A feat not many have accomplished, and even fewer have rolled 3 back-to-back 300s for a 900 series. Rius got 2 out of 3. And another perfect flush strike by Gregory Rius on that left lane. And no doubt about that one. Boy, his strikes have had no drama at all to them. They have been perfect in the pocket. Rius with a possible 267. And Nilsen down to 242. And down 25 as we speak. So Nilsen really in a hole. He's got to throw a number of strikes to put some pressure on Rius. Let's see if he can start here. Well, a pretty good shot. Turn up. Gets it late. Doesn't quite make the corner. And leaves the kind of a weak mixer 7-pin there. Just doesn't quite get it back up to the pocket. I think that shot on the left lane rattled him a little bit. He doesn't quite get all of this at the bottom, I don't think. Not a bad shot, but he gets it quite a bit right, maybe a little faster. Doesn't quite make the corner. We've seen those carry sometimes, but definitely a risk of a mixer 7 or another leave if you come up that light in the pocket. And now a 7-pin spare, no trouble there for Nilsen, but his max down to 232. Rius pacing to 227, which means if he were to get spares and strikes the rest of the way, he'd be in the 220. So certainly room here for Nilsen, but he's really got to get some strikes together here to put some pressure on Gregory. 3 frames left. 25-pin lead for Gregory Rius. The winner faces Jaime Gonzalez, last year's champion, and then we're on to number 1 qualifier Martin Larson. Only 2 matches left in this 15-match stepladder. And another good shot. There's the shot he was looking for last time on that lane. Hits his mark perfectly, flush strike, and keeps his 232 alive. Now Rius with another strike can put himself in the 230s just with marks. And here is Halvor Nilsen. He says, now why didn't I make that shot last time on that lane? And he would have been comfortably in the lead. Just that one blemish for Halvor Hagen Nilsen. Here is Rius looking to take a commanding lead here and set himself up for the victory. You see Bruno Bidone back there with Marc Chavet. He's your host and organizer of these matches. Boy, that came up a little bit high, but it settles into the pocket and just smashes the pocket. Boy, Rius not taking any prisoners on these strikes. Watch this. This is going to come in over about the 14th board maybe. Comes in a little bit high in the pocket, but it just settles there and just smashes the pocket. Sometimes we've seen some solid 7s coming in from that angle into the pocket, but not that time. That was a perfect strike by Gregory Rius. Please stick around for an interview with the loser of this match. And right now, that's looking like Halvor Hagen Nilsen. Rius just needs 2 marks now to lock this up. And he gets it out and up again, and another dead flush strike. Nothing but shrapnel. And that is pretty much going to wrap it up for Gregory Rius. He gets it out to the dry, turns up, boom, into the pocket. And a perfect strike there. Rius looking at 267. And now pacing in the 240s with a maximum of 232 for Nilsen. So Nilsen would have to strike out, and we'd have to see a nasty split by Rius for Nilsen to pull this match out. And I don't see it happening, honestly, but let's see if Nilsen can get the strike here, and does his job. And let's just get what you can. Get up to 232. Stranger things have happened. And he does get through that ball pretty nicely. And again, dead flush into the pocket. And now Nilsen with his trouble lane. He's had a ring 10 on this lane, and then that disastrous super washout that kicked out the head pin. And that sixth frame proved to be really, if he does not win this match, it will definitely be his undoing. If he struck there, I think he'd still have the lead. And let's see how Nilsen does here. And he definitely needs it. Take your time. And again, that free-flowing arm swing gets through the shot. Good shot. Turn up. Oh, the ring 10 for Halvar Haggen Nilsen. And that's going to do it. It will be Gregory Rius moving on to face Colombian Jaime Gonzalez in our semifinals. The 14th of 15 matches coming up here. And Nilsen knows it. And a good run by Nilsen, winning 2 matches and just could not keep up with the power of Gregory Rius. And really kind of one shot defeating him. But even at that, with the 2 10 pins and what Rius has done, I don't think Nilsen would have been able to keep up. And he does cover the 10 pin, no problem. And this is going to put him in the 2-0s or 211 maximum right now for Nilsen. And he'll just throw his fill shot and get out of the way for Gregory Rius to take a victory lap here. And again, it will be the interview between Halvar Haggen Nilsen and Marc Chavet when we are done with this match. And there is the clapping of encouragement for Halvar with his last shot, and comes in. Oh, it comes light into the pocket, leaves a 6 load, and that would be a 207 result for Halvar Haggen Nilsen. Certainly he's disappointed, and especially with that 6th frame. But even at that, with those 2 ring 10s he left, I think that might have been enough. Assuming Rius doubles here and shoots 260, that would have been enough for Rius to beat him anyway. Just because Rius has such power through the pocket here and is so lined up. What a match it's going to be between he and Gonzalez. And there you go, Gregory, another great shot into the 250s. Rius 267 possible, and I think that will give him so far the high game of this qualifier, of this stepladder. Again, Anthony Triguedet shooting 254. And it looks like Rius can get, he's already in the high 250s. He can get into the 260s with a strike here. A unqualified big game for Gregory Rius. And another good shot. And why not? Another perfect strike into the 260s. And Rius just another day at the office. And great performance here by Gregory Rius, looking strong and certainly giving Jaime Gonzalez something to think about on the bench. And again, the clapping of encouragement for Rius here, and what a performance. All that power right out to the dry, turns up, and gets a little weak 10 there for 266. Our high game of this stepladder. Congratulations to Gregory Rius. And he will go on to face Jaime Gonzalez. And again, the interview with Marc Chavet and Halvar Haggen Nilsen after this match. And again, my name is Bruce Hall. I'm your international commentator for these matches. And let's look at a couple of shots here. Here's Rius. And he gets one in. That looks like maybe his first strike, and a perfect flush shot. And here is Halvar Haggen Nilsen with his first shot way out to the right, a dead flush. We'll see you for the next match. It's Gonzalez versus Rius.
Alongside Jack Blythe for the recap, we just saw an exciting match here, the advent of Gregory Rius of France, the last chance for the French audience here in attendance up against Halvor. What a day it's been for the Norwegian superstar. What's your take on the match we just saw?
I mean, the match was an incredible one to watch. Obviously, again, the Purple Hammer was a significant ball of choice, and it seems to be giving those players more area, and it seems to be hitting the pins, unlike any other ball that we've seen go down the lane so far. So I'm excited to see what Gregory has in store for the next match against Jaime Gonzalez of Colombia. But once again, Halvor's bowled amazing all week, as he has done the previous 2 years on tour. So it's been a good week for him.
Could the Norwegian superstar have done something differently?
I wouldn't say anything differently. I think he was lined up. The pins obviously were an issue, and the carry was a problem. But I think the pins just didn't want to fall in his way. But he threw some really, really good shots, so he should be proud of himself.
Thank you, Jack. All right, Halvor, what a day it's been for you. Multiple matches, multiple wins. It was a celebration of a testament to your ability. Walk us through the final match there up against Gregory Rius of France.
There was a break between the other matches before this one, so we both kind of started equal. Fresh oil, fresh balls. Nobody had any bigger advantage, and he just executed the better shots. I had the line. When I did the good shot, it was good carry, but did a couple of bad ones, and it cost me the win.
Cost you the win. You did get some impressive victories out there. What are you going to walk away with from the tournament this year?
I'm going to walk away with a lot of good impressions of a lot of good people, a lot of self-esteem, because previously I've never won a match on TV. This was my first win, so I was very proud of myself with that performance, and I'll keep going from there.
Well, there you go. Congratulations on the first televised victory. Thank you very much.